Sanidhya. How are you? I hope you are doing well.
Great, I'm great, Aditi. Hope you're doing too.
Glad, I'm really happy. I think हमारा बहुत टाइम से we need to do this podcast and अब हो रहा है finally because बहुत सारे लोगों की हमारे सब्सक्राइबर्स की डिमांड है कि गूगल में जॉब कैसे पाए तो ऑब्वियसली इंटर्नशिप इज ऑल्सो समथिंग दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट गूगल ऐसी कंपनी जहाँ पे सबको कुछ ना कुछ दे वांट लाइक गूगल इज लाइक सबकी ड्रीम कंपनी है हाँ
True, true.
सबकी ड्रीम कंपनी है गूगल एंड इंटर्नशिप एक बहुत ही अच्छा तरीका होता है गूगल में एंट्री मारने का गूगल के लोगों को जानने का उनके एम्प्लॉयज को जानने का तो सबसे पहले आई थिंक आपने गूगल में अप्लाई करा उसकी जर्नी तो इम्पोर्टेंट है उससे पहले मुझे ये जानना है अबाउट योर सेल्फ लाइक व्हाट यू डू करंटली और आपने किस फील्ड में अप्लाई करा आपका बैकग्राउंड क्या है
So I am a 2018 engineering graduate. I did my mechanical engineering from VIT Vellore, post which I worked at Bosch for around 18 months, where I was helping the product marketing team with market intelligence or with on-ground research, a lot of market research. After that, I was part of a startup, which is now India's number one e-commerce platform for automobile spare parts. There, I was heading the marketing team. We were a small group of 11. I had around 3 to 4 people working under me. Post which I decided to do my MBA. I'm currently in my second year of my MBA from NMIMS Mumbai, during which I got a great opportunity to intern at Google. So my internship was of 10 weeks. It was a beautiful experience.
वाओ सो आई थिंक इट वाज अ ब्यूटीफुल एक्सपीरियंस और जो अप्लाई करने का प्रोसीजर था वो भी ब्यूटीफुल था या वहाँ पे बहुत ही हसल थी अप्लाई कैसे किया था आपने
So it was an on-campus, Google comes on campus here at NMIMS Mumbai. So the process, it is one of the first companies to come on campus. We have a batch size of approximately 650, I believe. I'm pretty sure around 400 to 500 people do apply for Google. It starts off with you just sending in your details, and then you have a cognitive ability test, which is, I would say, a step down from CAT on the level of NMAT exam. It is not very hard. Again, it's divided into three parts. You have your verbal section, your point section, and your logical reasoning section. It is a 30-minute test with around 20-25 questions, and they also look at your time. If you're able to do them quickly, then it does help you in your selection process. Post which I think around out of so many people, around 20-25 get shortlisted for their interviews. And so the openings were they were in the field of marketing only. So you had sales, you had marketing, you had strategy openings also. And post which you get a shortlist for one of these three or four openings, whatever there are. And you have two rounds of interviews. So if you get through the first one, then you will have another round. And these interviews last from anywhere between 40 minutes to an hour.
और इंटरव्यू में क्या क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं
So interview is very conversational. It doesn't even feel like an interview. It is just that you're getting to know the other person, a really smart person. And the same is from their end. They always have a smile on their face. They just want to get to know you better. And because it is an internship, there are a lot of behavioral questions as to what you had done earlier. What if you were in this particular situation? How did you react to it? So there are, I'll just go in a bit of depth here. There are four parameters that interviews generally gauge you on. The first is GCA, which stands for General Cognitive Ability. So here you get a barrage of open-ended questions, wherein the interviewer is trying to understand how do you approach and solve problems. It'll be very open-ended questions. You'll probably have to ask a few more questions, make some assumptions, and then come up with your solution. The second parameter that they judge you on is leadership. How do you communicate in times of stress? How is your decision making skills? Are you able to mobilize a team? The third parameter is role related. So if you are applying for a sales role, then your communication has to be up to the mark. Whereas if it is for a program manager, product manager, then your collaborative skills need to shine. So you will have to come up with these examples as to if you have used something very similar, or if you have a example from your work ex, then that really adds on. The fourth and last parameter is googliness. So googliness is a term used by every Googler at Google. Okay, and everyone has sort of their own definition of googliness. But what I understand from it is like, how do you navigate through ambiguity? Are you able to adapt to different situations and have a positive outcome? So these are the four basic parameters. This is how my interview was taken. Like there were situational questions, there were behavioral questions, and hypothetical questions.
So was it like more of जैसे सॉफ्ट स्किल पे ज्यादा फोकस और टेक्निकल स्किल्स पे कम था इंटरव्यू में?
Yes, Mera marketing. My interview was for marketing. Most of it was based on your behavior, how you are, soft skills कैसी हैं, and a bit of it was also technical. जैसे I was given a few hypothetical questions. If you are put in a situation, let's say I was interviewing for YouTube strategy role. So what next features should YouTube come up with? Come up with what would add value for the masses? How would you sort of do market sizing for a particular genre? So things like that. So there was a bit of technical questions also. There were a few, but it mostly revolved around soft skills.
Okay, got it. I mean, marketing is all about understanding behavior. So, like, how a person understands and all, I think that matters a lot. मैं जब गूगल हम अमेजन या किसी से बात करते हैं टेक इंटर्नशिप्स की कहीं पे भी, सो जो उनका स्टाइपेंड होता है दैट इज वेरी गुड. लाइक आई एम नॉट किडिंग, लोगों की जो सैलरी होती है वो उन लोगों का
Hmm.
स्टाइपेंड होता है जो टेक बैकग्राउंड से होता है, लाइक पीपल हु आर फ्रॉम टेक बैकग्राउंड. Maybe 80,000 tak their internship amount goes, and this is like I'm not just this is not like random numbers. 50,000 80,000 तक की इनकी internship amount रहता है. So Google में जो marketing वाली field में what is the ideal internship amount range क्या होता है?
So the range per month is around 1.25 to 1.5, including including all your, you get some joining bonus also, something of that sort. So it amounts to around 1.25 to 1.5 lakhs per month.
Okay, it's a per month. तो I think मैंने शायद tech का फिर गलत बोली, tech का उससे ज़्यादा ही होगा.
I think tech is for B.Tech graduates. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Tech is for B.Tech graduates probably. So udhar it must be it must be similar. Yeah.
तो एक और चीज थी कि अपार्ट लाइक आई मीन स्टाइपेंड वहाँ पे बहुत अमेजिंग होता है, सब कुछ बहुत अमेजिंग है. बट जो अगर वर्क एक्सपीरियंस की बात करें, वाज इट रियली अमेजिंग जो 3 मंथ्स, बिकॉज यूजुअली इट्स लाइक 3 मंथ्स में लाइक व्हाट आई हैव लर्नड. I mean, I will feel like 3 months we don't learn anything basically. So what do you think in a big company? Is it worth, or is it like good for money or only good for status and all? It's a worth experience, like, and something you learn.
Oh, it was a tremendous experience for me. So I'll just break it down in a few points. Firstly, so the way they conduct their internships is very different. They already have a problem statement and a framework in mind before you join in as an intern. So your manager or your mentor has a very defined problem statement for you to work on. As and when you enter, you are given that problem statement. You're taken through it in depth. What the current situation is, what is required of you, what are your objectives. That really helps. So that sets the pace, and you're given complete ownership of the project. So like I was working on a project for YouTube, which was related to the edtech field. So I was given complete ownership of that project. I could talk to anyone at Google. I could probably send in a mail or a message to the marketing head asking them if you have some spare time, and I could, pick your head on a few things, and they would be fine with it. So it's a very open culture. I could probably go out and ask anyone for help, and the people that you talk to, they are really smart. They are really great personalities also. So you get to learn a lot. Those 10 weeks of my internship, I had probably spoken to 20-25 people from different verticals. That really helped me understand as to how people at such big companies work, because whenever you're solving problems here, it is at mass. You're solving people problems for billions of people. So how do you understand? How do you go about solving? What is the opportunity here? So you get to learn a lot.
Makes sense, makes sense. I think with like obviously the one thing that I learned, if you hang around with smart people, you automatically become smart. It's like you are the average of a 5 people you hang out with. So obviously मतलब गूगल में जाने के बाद तो ये तो एक advantage definitely you will get it. Uh, Apart from it, let's say if anyone wants to apply, yours was on campus. अगर कोई off campus भी apply करना चाहे तो गूगल में as an intern, डू यू नो लाइक व्हाट आर द ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल फॉर देम, क्या प्रोसीजर होता है और उनको किन चीजों का ध्यान रखना चाहिए?
I think options mostly it is on their career website, and if not, I'm not sure कि internship में if there are references or not, but for full time employment references are also used. And now I feel Google, even for if you look for from a tech point of view, they do go to tier two, tier three colleges also. They have different programs. For example, there is one program for women, so if for technical women in technical ability, something of that sort. So they're trying to be as inclusive as possible. They're trying to get the best talent from everywhere possible. So if you are talented, nowadays there are many ways. Even on LinkedIn, you could directly come up with something creative, reach out to recruiters. There are 1,000 ways to get an internship or a full-time role. You just have to have the drive. But yeah, after that, I feel you also, the first step is always your CV or your resume. So you have to make sure that whatever you have done until that point comes off and it reflects on your CV. That is really important. You need to probably uh, have a 360 development point of view, and not just like if you are applying for a technical role, let's say, not just on your technical abilities, but also what you've done in your extracurricular or co-curricular. That too should be taken care of.
So resume की like, so when I talk about resume thing, resume also played a very important role in your selection, or online quiz was that important? Resume बहुत ज़्यादा important है, कैसे लिखी, कैसे बनाई?
I think resume plays a very important role. Most of it is resume. So I think the test is just setting a bar that if you can do better than that, then you have that cognitive ability. So that just tests your cognitive ability. But the main criteria I feel is your resume or your CV.
Got it, got it. So resume में मतलब किन चीज़ों का, so when someone is wants to make a resume, what was an X factor that highlighted that was in your resume जिसकी वजह से you were selected as a Google?
So I'm not sure about the exact points because I was not, I've never been on that side of the hiring process. So I'm not really sure, but I could tell you about what my resume had. So my resume, I had put in everything in detail. I had a few numbers to show for. So in your work experience, if there is if you have generated additional revenue, what times X. So that really helps. You need to showcase numbers in your resume. You also need to have different PORs, position of responsibilities, wherein you could showcase that I had led this event or I had organized this event, things like that. And apart from that, if you have done other courses, that could also help and add value.
Got it. So some extra courses with certificates and
Exactly.
do a lot of internships in that field. So I think the basic
That
things that you need to remember. but हाँ कुछ एक्स्ट्रा आपके होना चाहिए, जस्ट आप कॉलेज की डिग्री लेके नहीं बैठ सकते, यू नीड टू
नहीं
मेक श्योर
but
आप और करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज और इन सब में पार्ट लेते रहो, इंटर्नशिप,
exactly,
कॉम्पिटिशन्स, कोर्सेज, एक्स्ट्रा कोर्सेज, जस्ट डू
exactly.
दैट, इट एक्चुअली एड्स अ वैल्यू। इवन इफ आई स्कैन समवन्स रिज्यूमे, अगर किसी ने एक्स्ट्रा सर्टिफिकेशंस लाइसेंस सब कर रखे हैं ना, देन आई डोंट नो, देयर इज अ पॉजिटिव आउटलुक टुवर्ड्स दैट पर्सन।
They generally look for an all-round development rather than just academic.
Got it, yeah, that's really important, और कोई ऑलराउंडर आ जाए। So yeah, thank you Sanidhya so much for your time. I hoping कि बहुत सारे बच्चों ने आज कुछ सीखा होगा to how to apply to Google like internship. Obviously it is an on campus, but still बहुत सारी basic चीजें हैं कि Google में अप्लाई करते वक्त इन चीजों का ध्यान रखना चाहिए, बिकॉज बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड थी कि लाइक टेक फील्ड वालों को तो मिल जाती है, मार्केटिंग वालों के लिए क्या है, बट आई थिंक यू शोड अ गुड वे टू देम। थैंक यू सो मच संदीप फॉर योर टाइम, थैंक्स अ लॉट। या